Aardman Animation is most well known for Nick Park's cheese-loving duo of Wallace and Gromit. However, beyond their misadventures with wrong trousers and a close shave, Aardman has crafted many other shorts, a few of which even spawned series of their own. And I wanted to select the cream of the crop. Not just the ones I find to be decent, push this list to 10, but the truly special ones deserving of high recognition. Loves Me, Loves Me Not. This is a rather dark short, with a lead protagonist that is not particularly likable, but it makes the things that happen to him all the more deserving. The animation adds a lot of character to what is merely a flower, and makes it a sympathetic figure as we watch this man continue to pluck its petals off for his own egotistical purposes. The story takes some wild turns as he ends up in one predicament after another, and as the short plays, we slowly start to understand the power possessed by this flower. One of the best qualities of many an Aardman production is the amount of personality they bring to silent characters, and this is no exception, as the man contorts and reacts in all sorts of wild and funny ways. Loves Me, Loves Me Not is a bizarre and macabre short, but the gruesome things that happen to its central character are certainly earned. War Story. One of the ideas that put Aardman on the map was taking interview recordings and setting them to stop-motion animation in inventive ways. In the case of War Story, we have a real person named Bill Perry talking about his life during the Second World War. Through these 5 minutes, we find out so much about Mr. Perry, and his stories are certainly humorous even when he's talking about events like the Blitz. There are so many neat visual gags in the film, whether it's the antics of the animals or when the camera ends up at an angle. Nick Park's animation aids Perry's interview superbly, but fittingly the animals are made more over the top than the human characters. As silly as the short gets at times, there is nonetheless a feeling like we've been brought back in time, and the film provides a perspective of how one middle-class Brit reacted to the onslaught of World War II. Not Without My Handbag. A fitting short for the upcoming Halloween season, what really stands out about this film, beyond its macabre subject matter, are the colors. There are some brilliantly striking images, as we see an ant go to hell and back, all to retrieve her trusted handbag. The character designs are wonderfully inventive, with some comically large eyes on the little girl and a humorous skeleton for the ant. The devil himself even makes an appearance, as he attempts to trick the ant into returning back to his abode. The camera angles really add to the mood of the short, and I just love how casual the ant is about the whole ordeal. Others who watched this short in their youth have found this creepy, but as a child who found skeletons oddly endearing, Not Without My Handbag certainly appealed to my sensibilities. Definitely a short worth adding to your October viewing list. Adam. A comical depiction of the first man using claymation not only as the animation technique, but also a metaphor of how God created Adam. God is essentially the animator trying to keep his creation in control, but Adam, unsurprisingly, has other ideas. The use of the planet is brilliant, and I love how the environment reacts to Adam stepping and falling all over the place. Director Peter Lord uses his limited location extremely well, and finds all sorts of scenarios for Adam to partake in. With the heavy emphasis on the color blue, the movie is visually pleasing, and one gets a sense of this being a work in progress of Earth. You know, before the flora and fauna was added. Where it goes in the end is hilarious, and I definitely will not spoil it for you. Go seek Adam out, and regardless of your religious affiliation, I think you'll find something to like about it. Humdrum. Taking on a different look from Aardman's other work, Peter Peak opted for shadows on the wall, and hilarious conversations they have while sitting bored one day. From the second we see them, they are immediately endearing, and Peak takes full advantage of this technique and premise. Voice actors Jack Doherty and Murray Hunter are very funny as the shadows, and while the short only runs about 6 minutes, I could watch these two talk for even longer than that. Eventually, Humdrum becomes rather meta, as the shadows decide to create shadow puppets of their own, and where the story progresses is also quite funny. The use of the walls is particularly inventive, as Peak finds a number of backgrounds for the shadows to plant themselves in front of, using a clever style of cutout animation, making it quite a technical marvel on top of everything else that makes it special. What's Pig? A twist on the Prince and the Pauper story, Peter Lord creates an appropriate medieval feeling in both the appearance of the short as well as the themes presented. There's a commentary here about how upbringing can play a role in shaping one's personality, and that allows this to become an engaging short. The relationship between the poor boy and his pig is rather touching, and Lord also includes a clever use of split screen to highlight the contrast between the twins. There are some fantastic physical comedy bits, and the music also plays a role in fitting the time period. There are some great surprises along the way, and the animators do a great job of showing the differences between the two central characters. The decision to jettison a lot of the dialogue was a smart one on Lord's part. The visuals already do splendidly in presenting the story to us. And my favorite Aardman short, not featuring Wallace and Gromit, is Creature Comforts. As I mentioned before, Aardman has long been working on applying stop-motion animation to interview recordings, and Creature Comforts marks the crowning achievement of that. The decision to have the interviews turn into zoo animals actually ends up charming rather than insulting, as Nick Park seems to notice a similarity in how Brits might view their living quarters and how animals in a zoo would. The highlight is unquestionably the Brazilian mountain lion, who feels England is far too small and he longs for space. The polar bears are also a delight, the turtles are absolutely adorable, and Park allows for a wide range of opinions about British life. The sets are particularly well constructed, and there are so many great sight gags in the background. Creature Comforts is a short I just keep coming back to again and again. Thank you, Aardman Animation, for your incredible work over the years and continuing to support stop-motion animation. I certainly look forward to what these talented animators in Bristol come up with. See you next time.